So I just finished reading an article that disc brakes may be in the Pro Peloton by 2017. So what this means is road bikes with disc brakes will be allowed to do races such as the Tour de France and all the big races that are pretty much controlled by the UCI. As always, I've written a little list, I've written some notes down after reading the article about my thoughts. And what I think this is, I think it's a way of manufacturers being able to put disc brakes on all their bikes and push them that way, because at the moment you've got, manufacturers that make mountain bikes and cyclocross bikes both with disc brakes, and when it comes to road bikes they've still got to use their U brakes or whatever. So I think for them it's a money saving strategy, is that if they can just use disc brakes on all their bikes, it's definitely a big money saver, as well as not having to carry stock of U brakes and things like that. So I think the manufacturers are definitely pushing for this change, which looks like it may happen in 2017. So what I've done is just written a little list of pros and cons, in my opinion, of disc brakes on road bikes. So we'll start with the pros. Disc brakes definitely offer better performance. I do have them on my mountain bike, and on my road bike I just have Ultegra U brakes. So definitely better performance, they pull up a lot quicker, there's better modulation, so there's better feeling in the lever. U brakes tend to be kind of on or off in a way, whereas disc brakes you have that feathering, you can feather them a little more, there's a bit more modulation. So definitely better performance, better modulation and feeling. Disc brakes don't wear out the braking surface, especially on expensive wheels. When you wear out the braking surface, you're pretty much in need of a new set of wheels. Whereas the disc brake can just be changed on the same wheel. So that's another pro. The performance of disc brakes is still pretty good in wet conditions, muddy conditions. Hence the reason they're on mountain bikes. They always seem to pull up well. Whereas I notice on the road bike, a little bit of rain on the road, takes a while to brake, takes a while for the brakes to get that water off the rim, and then it starts to brake, which can be dangerous because you can have your brake on pretty hard when they're wet. Then as soon as the water dries out, you're all of a sudden braking really hard, so it can be a bit dangerous. The cons that I've come across with disc brakes on a road bike in a competitive environment is that they're not as aerodynamic. It's very minimal, but obviously the pros demand every little second they can get. So it was a notable difference. I saw someone actually has done a wind tunnel test with disc brakes compared to U brakes, and there was a notable difference. But again, probably not something I would notice, but definitely something a pro cyclist would notice or would affect their times. Wind from the side especially can counter the aerodynamics of the bike. They're usually heavier, so bikes with disc brakes are usually heavier. The brake system is heavier, and bikes usually have to be built a little bit differently to put up with the strain that a disc brake causes. So forks and things like that have to be built a little bit sturdier. So that is going to add up to be a little bit heavier. As I was saying, so other components must be built stronger to withstand the braking force. So wheels will probably have to be built stronger, forks, things like that. Another point that I think was brought up, this isn't my own point, but there's a lot of people say that they're unsafe in a crash where the disc could cut someone. It does make a little bit of sense, but at the same time there's a lot of other things on a bike that are going to cause more issues, such as chain rings and cassettes with bloody spikes. So I don't think that's really a good argument. I think if they did make this rule, if they did allow disc brakes in 2017, I think that the rule would be that every bike has to have them, because you can imagine there'd be advantages and disadvantages, and the bikes should be running roughly the same braking systems, because you don't want someone in front of you that can brake quicker and faster than you, which it could be dangerous, and it could be an unfair advantage. So I think if they do it, all bikes have to have it. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, so please let me know in the comments below. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching.